This week's scenario is Recon from the 2015 Steamroller packet. The scenario does not have the Killbox Artifice in effect and consists of a rectangular zone in the center of the board flanked by 2 flags. The flags can be dominated for 1 CP, the enemy objective can be destroyed for 1 CP, and the zone can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs. First player to 5 control points or caster an assassination wins the game.
Alright, for this week I decided that I would try Xerxis 2 with a little bit of, a lot of advanced deploy models. So I kind of went a little heavy on that. The Archidon basically going to be used for sprint, lightning strike, and the Raider is going to be used for snipe on the Sentinels.
Hello everybody. Today with me I have Epic Baldur, and trying something a little bit different, out of tier. Got Megalith, Ghetorix, and Stalker for some heavy hitting. I have the full Una boat and some swamp gobbers. Pokey ended up winning the roll, so he chose side, so I ended up going first. So you can see him, just kind of deploying most of my stuff in the center of my side of the board. I have with me the fuel cache objective, which allows my, or actually allows all the war beasts to charge for free, including Una's. Got my Blackclads kind of set up on the flanks, have Ghetorix on the right, hopefully take advantage of that hill if I have to, and the Stalker on my left to hopefully, trigger Prowl off of the trees.
Alright, my pre-deployment was pretty standard. Xerxis in the middle, and then pretty much everything else lining up as much as I possibly can right in the middle, because I know my advanced deploy is going to be also in the middle and ahead of that. So, most of the support's just going to go right there in the center, because that's where the beasts are going to go.
For my advanced deployment, I just have my stones in a kind of tight little triangle. You can see I have the UA actually towards the back and have a medium-sized triangle. I actually picked that up from Fort, due to the shooting bugs being able to ignore stealth.
Alright, just kind of like I was saying before, most of the AD was going to go right in front of the support pieces. The Raider is bonded to Xerxis, that way I can hopefully get multiple far strikes at a turn. The Croak Raiders, never used them before, so this is going to be kind of something interesting. But they fit the bill for having advanced deploy. So even if I didn't do too much with them, they could at least just hopefully screen. And I can hopefully shoot a lot of his stuff early in the game.
Circle Orboros, turn 1. To start the game off real quick with, checking stuff out. I see he's got his, Croak Raiders in the front, all 3 of his, bugs, on their flanks. Gonna go ahead and start with Ghetorix, warp for strength, and, run up as far as I can. I did not warp for hyper aggressive because the plan was to put Roots of the Earth on him, which you get a little bit of Skorne there, if you can't move, and you're warping for hyper aggressive. So in this case, just warp for strength. Next up, the Stalker, kind of walked up a little bit too far, but put him behind the objective, which again is the fuel cache, which allows my war beasts to charge for free. And have him warp for strength as well, as he'll also be getting Roots of the Earth momentarily. Next up, moving the shifting stones, again keeping the unit attachment in the back, making it much harder for him to snipe out with his, effectively eyeless sight, weapon master shooty bugs. Checking Una's control range, and here went ahead and cast Watcher and then charged one of the Croak Raiders to get as far up the board as I can. And I kind of made a slight misplay here. By moving up so far, I left both the Rotterhorn Griffons out of Una's command range. So what I should have done is had them both activate first and run. But that being said, they just walked up their full 6 back into Una's command and riled. Next up, Megalith, trample forward. Nice way to get up, you know, a little bit further up, and still be able to Geomancy Roots of the Earth on the Megalith. So he's sitting on 2 Fury. Let's see, next up, checking Epic Baldur's control area. He's going to go ahead and activate, and he's going to just kind of walk his full 5 inches up, not very fast. Go ahead and put Roots of the Earth on Megalith and the Stalker, and he's going to go ahead and put up a wall in front of Ghetorix as well. So, you know, this is going to be pretty durable against shooting, hopefully. And, of course, at the end of his activation, he's going to get a corpse token. And at the end of the turn, you know, he'll take damage equal to the amount of corpse tokens. You know, move up the Gorax a little bit. I did kind of make a silly mistake. I left my Swamp Gobbers last, and I totally forgot about them and kind of boxed them out. You know, just goes to show you I could use a little bit more practice unpacking this army. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just had the Blackclad Wayfarers teleport within 2 inches of a shifting stone and pass the turn.
Alright, first turn, typical first turn. Basically going to be things running and doing their things. Actually, no, I'm sorry, not this time. This is going to be actually doing something because I went second. So that means that his army is moved pretty far forward. So the Raider moved up. It put Far Strike on the 1 Sentinel. And then the Extoller moved up, put Guidance up on it. The Taskmaster moved up, being proxied by the proxy base, only because of the fact that the hill would keep on toppling and just not be a very good thing. Activating Xerxis next. Oh, and he did Timbered Flesh. That's what he did for the Croak Raiders. Because, well, who doesn't like to have them be tough? So he cast Mobility and then Ignite on the Soldier, and then his free Animus because of the Beast Bond to the Raider. Far Strike on the other Sentinel. And now the Willbreakers are going to activate. They're going to move up. Going to put Puppet Master on the lower Sentinel. And then he moves up. Then the second one moves over. Puts Puppet Master on the other Sentinel up towards the top of the screen. And my hope is to try to kill some stuff and put some damage out there. Try to start nickeling and diming him now, so that way later on it'll be less that'll hit my lines. I'm going to start with the first Aradus at the top, the first Sentinel at the top. He is going to stand still because, well, the Blackclad is in line of sight, in range. So I boost it to hit. I successfully hit. And because of poison, I get the additional die. And end up killing off that one Blackclad. So, hooray, first blood. Blackclad goes down. Then I activate the other Sentinel. He advances, and I go for the stone. I believe it was the stone, because I wanted to make sure that the stone... Yep, it was the stone. Now I'm going to boost, because I need to make sure that the stone goes away, because I don't want any teleporting shenanigans coming at me. And with the guidance up, it gives me the ability to ignore, well, it gives me eyeless sight, so I can ignore stealth with that. And that's why I could shoot the stone. And then he goes and puts his own Animus up of, basically it's concealment. And living models are at -2 to attack while within 2 inches. I'll remember the name of it in a minute. But the token's out there. I should have actually done it on the one on the top as well, but I forgot to do it, so it is what it is. Now I bring the Archidon up. It basically runs up, because I know I'm going to need something to... well, I thought I was going to need some more Fury. Or maybe it just needed to be there, and I just needed it out of the way, so that's why I went further than the 9 inches with that mobility would give it. And then the Beast Hunters move up, they do some conditioning, make sure that I only have what I need for next turn. Now with Circle has some scary shenanigans with the distances they can move. So right now I'm just trying to get the Croak Raiders into a position to where hopefully they don't die by the droves, but they kind of also help block up some of the lanes.
Circle Orboros, round 2. So I've lost the Shifting Stone and a Blackclad. Really sad about the Shifting Stone, but obviously it was to be expected. There was not a whole lot I could do, to prevent the eyeless sight shooting, and other than just terrible rolls. So go ahead, heal D3 on Epic Baldur thanks to Megalith. Go back to full life and get my second worm token. Can't really, I don't see a whole lot of options of getting to his heavies. I could probably get to the Sentinel on the bottom of the screen between the Blackclad Wayfarer and the Stalker. Unfortunately, my objective is in the way. So my plan right now is to just kind of reposition, clear out as much of these Croak Raiders as possible. They'll hit really hard between oil and fire. So she upkept Watcher, so it puts her down to 3 Fury. And I have 3 shots to play with. Note it's not rate of fire 3. It is 3 times, so I get 3 shots. Needing 7s to hit, and I believe 4s or 5s to crack armor. So my odds of killing, 1 or 2 are not so bad. I do end up killing 1, and with 2 of my Fury, I'm going to put Acceleration on the Rotterhorn at the top. I can't see him because Una does have Bird's Eye, and I'm going to sit on 1 Fury just in case. So next I'll activate said Griffon. He's just going to, charge forward about 9 inches, take his charge attack, needing 7s to hit, which I do get, and, the guy, poor little guy fails his tough check. And I'm just going to activate my Pulse, which will, boost that and hopefully kill that guy, which I do not. But he is knocked down, if I remember right. So that just kind of ends his activation. Now, the key here is, keep in mind, I placed Una towards the middle on purpose. Just to kind of take advantage of her Watcher during my opponent's turn. But we'll come back to that later. Ghetorix is going to receive Sprint from the Druid Wilder. And he's just going to, kind of go forward and, do Ghetorix things. Kind of did goof a little bit. I was thinking about charging. I was like, no, I'll save the Fury, no point. But I totally forgot I had the fuel cache objective was letting me charge for free. So he just ended up walking up. He passes command check and killed a couple Croak Raiders. Sprint back. Best case scenario, I guess they fail their command check, and would have been nice, but take about 2 or 3 Croak Raiders and settle for that. Kind of left him towards the middle of the zone. I figure if he wants to come after me, go for it. He'll be behind a wall with Roots of the Earth, so I'm not super worried about it. Next up, I'm just kind of planning my next moves. Go ahead and just go with the easy one. I'll have Megalith go up, cast Roots of the Earth on Ghetorix, as I mentioned before. Again, just kind of thinking what I want my, where I want to position my stuff. Activate the Stalker. He's just going to run forward, warping for strength. Get him right, right up there with Ghetorix. Go ahead and activate the Rotterhorn Griffon next. Also putting him in the zone. Kind of on the flank. Oops, dropping trees and stuff all over the place. just kind of putting him in a nice spot to get some really good Watcher triggers if he wants to come in and do some fancy stuff. Teleporting my Shifting Stones and, good places to be able to leech or take off extra Fury if I need to. Have the Gorax get into position. Baldur go ahead, walks forward. He's going to go ahead and do his thing. Throws, Roots of the Earth on the Stalker and a nice wall in front of the two of them. And he's going to sit on 2 Fury. At this point, I have 2 Worm tokens on me, and so I'm guaranteed to take 2 points at the end of my turn. I'm a little bit worried that he's going to try to dump some shots into Baldur. I can kind of feel an assassination coming up, so I go ahead and put the Swamp Gobbers up and hope for the best.
Alright, going into this turn, had some thoughts. I'm looking at the table, and his caster's well within range of both the Sentinels if they had Far Strike up. He's living, so poison would kick in, and popping my feet means that, rolling extra dice to hit and taking away whichever one I want to take away. And everything counts as being in my control area. The Sentinels also have Arcing Fire, which means if there's not a model within an inch of it, I can basically fire upon it. So that's my plan. My plan is to try to put as much fire into his caster this turn as I possibly can. And with any luck, because right now I can't remember if he's sitting on 1 or 2 transfers, but with poison and a direct hit, with the feet up and boosting, there's bound to be some good dice rolls there. You're talking 2 base, a 3rd one for poison, another one, a 4th one for boosting, and then a 5th one for the feet that goes away. So that's 5 dice for damage on a direct hit. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. To hopefully help counter some of that in case that actually fails. If it were to fail, I'm loading up the Archidon to get into those lines. So I gave him Eyeless Sight from the Extoller. I gave him Puppet Master from the one Extoller. He's just, I'm going to basically load him up, send him in, because I just really, I want him to kill off one of those Griffins, because those Griffins are bad for my Croak Raiders. They're bad for a lot of things. Giving the ability to do 2 special abilities a turn, just really bad. So I also need to kill them. So, there goes my feet token. And I end up casting, pretty much expending everything off my caster. My caster is bare bones, nothing on him. Between upkeeping, ignite, 2 for mobility, 2 for lightning strike, that's it, full load. I got a little greedy. I moved forward. I could have moved 9 inches backwards and everything would have been fine. My worry, if I would have done that, was, well, if I do this and this fails, well, then my beasts are going to be out of, reaving range. I'm going to be, bone dry, have to cut, and my beasts are just going to be hanging out there. Didn't want to do that to them. So moved them forward instead. So now, first Aradus activates, of course misses even with boosting. Poor die rolls are poor die rolls. But it doesn't scatter too far off. It still hits the caster and the other guys, and end up doing some damage, and he transfers over to, I think, the Gorax, and then he puts up 2 for, I can't remember what his Animus is, but he does 2 for his Animus. Then the other one activates, the other Sentinel activates, moves over. He has Far Strike and Puppet Master up. Can draw line of sight. I'm going to Puppet Master to hit because I really want to hit his caster. So I successfully hit his caster. I boost the damage because I think he's the only one that's in the AoE right now, and that's where I count out my number of dice. And I think this is where I did not see the second Fury. So, he definitely put some damage into another one of his beasts. And I think it was, what is it, the Megalith, that's what it was. Put some damage into him, and then, of course, I put the Animus up again, figuring concealment and enemies having -2 to hit is going to be a good thing for me, you know, while within 2 inches. And then, now I activate the Taskmaster, moved it forward, and here's where my newness with the Croak Raiders really kicks in. Move the Taskmaster forward, and I put Paingiver up on them. Paingiver is +2 to the damage rolls. So I activate them, they take the charge order, the one guy runs back. The other guys basically charge forward into this bird. I'm hoping that I can do something to kill off this bird with, well, I think 3 or 4 of those guys. I'm figuring, oh, well, you know, they're going to be POW 10, POW 12 with a gang. You know, they evidently, you know, going to do great. Well, you got to hit. And I think I only hit with like two or 3 of those. Because their mat is not that good. I should have just kept them back and tried to shoot it with their rat, which is a little bit better, I think. But in the end, I don't think I ended up killing it. I think I left it with like 3 or 4 boxes, and it just left it there. I'm like, curses. If only I would have had one more in the, maybe one more hit, one more in the zone. Soldier, he moves forward, hoping to, next turn, be a little bit more productive, a little more offensive. Beast Handlers move up. They start doing some conditioning. Enrage the Archidon because, well, he needs to get in there. And now I'm working at the distance. Base speed 7, 2 for mobility, +3. So I definitely have the distance there. Unfortunately, Watcher was up. So with Watcher up, I can't help but fall within 6 inches of Una. And she allows her beast to do the Watcher move. And of course, it happens to be the only beast that I'm in combat with. So it moves out, but luckily for me, it does not ignore free strikes. So I was still able to do a free strike, but no boosting. It was, you know, whatever I could do off the feet. You know, between the +2 to make it a mat 8, plus the you know, other stuff, I was able to hit. And then the damage kicked in, and I really kind of knocked out both 2 aspects of it, but it still left it living. And that's my turn.
Circle Orboros, turn 3. Okay, so did manage to get a pretty nice Watcher movement out of Una. Saved my Griffin. You know, banged up pretty bad, but you know, he would have been a dead Griffin otherwise. So, few of my beasts are pretty banged up. You know, namely, I think Megalith lost about 1/3 of his health, give or take. You know, thankfully he has quite a few boxes. Gorax took the other transfer. Right now I'm just kind of healing D3 from Megalith is his passive ability. Baldur heals D3, gets his 3rd Worm token. You know, upkeep Watcher again in case some were not aware. It doesn't expire if you choose not to take the attack, so go ahead and upkeep that. Right now I'm just kind of weighing my options. It looks really good, you know, to go in for the assassination run. Right now, Xerxis sitting on no fury, no buffs. You know, he's just kind of hanging out there with, you know, really nothing protecting him. So it was kind of my hope was to put Baldur in a position where he would have to commit and hopefully it would pay off for me, which it did. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and activate Una. She's going to go ahead and use her black penny shots to try to remove some of these Croak Raiders. Checking, her control because her range is 8 on her birds. Go ahead and knocked out one from the zone. Knocked out that other one over there, and she also used a couple of her Fury to heal some of the birds' aspects, the Rotterhorn Griffon's aspects, mainly the one in the zone. Again, just staying on one Fury. Of course, if this assassination run doesn't work out, I want to be able to have like a nice backup option and not lose too many pieces because I overextended. So go ahead and just kind of clearing out a lot of these Croak Raiders. Obviously, went ahead and activated the Griffin. Making sure to stay within command. And go ahead and did my pulse to try to get that last Croak Raider out of there. Nothing else. Even if I could reach that Sentinel over there, it wouldn't have did me a lot of good, but really the Croak Raider is the one I'm after. So went ahead and boosted it. Failed, or did not tough, if I remember right, because they didn't receive the order. So right now I'm just kind of looking over if I can get to Ghetorix without activating Baldur. Because I want Baldur to go last. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Blackclad Wayfarer and try to cast Hunter's Mark on Xerxis, making sure I'm still within melee. The range is 10, so I do have range, and I need a 6 because I'm Magic 7, and unfortunately rolled Snake Eyes. Good news is, again, I forgot that I had Fuel Cash, so I charged for free, so really, I didn't lose a whole lot. I could have done something more productive with him, but, go ahead and activate the Druid Wilder, just kind of walk up, put Primal on Ghetorix. And I'm just, trying to eyeball the situation right now, because again, I would not activate Baldur last, so in case this assassination does fail, I can feat. I obviously don't want to feat before I move, so I'm just checking my control. And I can, go ahead and put the proxy base down. I'm going to go ahead and commit to my charge, measure to see if I'm in range. Yeah, so I can go, I can get pretty close up, but before I, just want to make sure I'm within range. Doesn't look like it. I think it back up a little bit, so I will not be able to get my my half-inch melee attack. So I'm only going to be working with my reach attacks, but that's okay. I'm not within the range of what is it the Sentinel has that gives you -2 attack or something. Not in that range. So effectively, I'm at 11 on the charge, thanks to Primal and powerful charge from Ghetorix. POW 21 with Primal, do a pretty good chunk of damage on him. Go ahead and buy an attack, and I think we were looking at like dice +2 or 3 or something. It was, quite a bit of damage. So 2 reach attacks was enough.
All right, afterthoughts. This is the part where I'm supposed to say that, Moress is a, great guy and blah, 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 great guy to play against. Let's just pretend I said all that, because he really is. He's a good guy. Love playing against him. Thoughts. Thoughts are that I maybe got a little too greedy, wanting to make sure that Xerxis stayed further forward, trying to make sure that the Archidon was in my range. If I would have played smarter, less aggressive, I would have actually moved backwards. I would have lost some points to the zone for control points, because more like he would have killed off the Croak Raiders that were there. He may have killed off my objective and potentially the Soldier, because he still had two heavy sitting right there that could do a lot of damage. But there's potential that he couldn't have done that. But it was still a great game. I just really need to focus on placement for Xerxis. Huge bases are a pain to figure out for placement. But thank you. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope to get some more games like this in. Thanks.